This way, Your Grace.
You're bleeding. I have a tonic which will...
I thank you for your kindness, truly. But I assure you, I will survive. Please, save your medicines for those who need them most.
Oh, well, if you're sure...
For a moment there, I felt my brother's presence.
You did?
I fear he is in Ultima's thoughts again. But why now, after 5 years of silence? I cannot keep him sealed away much longer.
Your Grace.
No, do not dirty your hands. Look at them all. Like a river flowing to the sea.
Or moths to a flame, perhaps. The crystalline dominion their light in the darkness. More and more lose their homes to the blight and set out in search of sanctuary, while others lose their fortunes to the Dhalmekian levies and leave to find new livelihoods. What is it that you seek in the Dominion, Your Grace?
Oh, Dion Lesage.
You mean the Crown Prince of Sanbreque?
He has many titles. Dion the Bold, Prince of Dragoons, Odin's Nemesis, or simply Bahamut. I met him once, when we were children. He was a chivalrous soul even then, and has served his empire indefatigably ever since.
And you are confident that he will listen to what you have to say?
Our world lurches ever closer to the abyss, and a hidden hand ushers us onward. Ultima's influence extends to every nation, Sanbreque included. If His Highness is the man I believe him to be, and I pray that he is, this truth will not have escaped his notice. As the mother crystals fall, the eternal flame wavers, and the azure sky begins to bruise. How lucky we were to be blessed by the crystals, and yet how spoiled. Like canaries in a gilded cage, growing fat on seed. But now, the bars are closing in, and we must take flight. Painful though it be to leave our home behind, it is what we must do to be free. Which is it that men cannot live without? A blessing that leads to damnation, or a freedom that leads to deprivation? I do not yet know the answer to that question. Do you, Clive?
Your Grace, let us find a place to rest a while. We can return by the Dhalmekian trail once you have recovered your strength. I realize your duty is pressing, but if your health should fail...
I know. Thank you, Yote.
The army's attempt to breach the Empire's defenses and gain the Isles of Ark has failed yet again.
Only because your fleet has proved as impotent as a eunuch on laying night. Would you rather we simply fell back to the capital?
Enough, both of you. All here agree that the Empire cannot be allowed to maintain its illegitimate claim on the Dominion. However, our casualties mount with each passing day.
There is a literal sea twixt you and your prize. The armies of Sambrek need but sit back and watch as you harmlessly lap against their walls. They are dug in like ticks and seek to draw out this siege, knowing the capital's stores are nigh bottomless. And what of our wise rulers? Goaded into war without any thought as to what chaos it might reap. Republican soldiers starve while waiting for orders from Randalar.
If you would but take the field, their bellies would be full by nightfall.
If I take the field, so too will Bahamut, and our duel will shake the island to its foundations. Instead of liberating the Dominion, you would doom it to destruction. Unless that is what you desire.
If our learned advisor has a solution to propose, we should be glad to consider it.
Is that the Emperor's?
What is the meaning of this, Lord Kupka?
What it means is that I am disinclined to advise you any longer. Ah, the looks on their faces when you walked through those doors. A perfect picture of stupefaction. They could not believe their eyes. Though I confess, I had my own doubts whether or not you would accept my invitation. Such shocking news. Sid isn't a son of a whore. He's the son of an empress. Your own dear Clive.
Absurd. Who fed you these lies? I have never spent a moment among criminals, save at the gallows. I came here with my son, not to entertain your baseless accusations, but to put an end to the senseless hostilities between our nations.
Very well. You need only agree to the terms I set out. Sid took the life of someone dear to me, a woman by the name of Benedicta. I swore to take his in turn. This would not be disagreeable to you, I take it. You would finally be rid of the stain on your noble name. In return, I will leave Sanbrek in your capable hands. Your Imperial Majesty.
And all for the love of a common whore. Dominant or no, one cannot hide one's breeding. And beasts will ever belong with beasts. There are greater things in store for you, my darling Olivier. Soon enough, you shall be the crown prince of Sambrec. And when your father goes to meet Great Griga, you shall be emperor of all you survey. The old order shall come tumbling down, and you will rebuild the world in your glorious image. Soon.
She's been in there for hours. Something must be wrong.
After the storm. As always, a lot to digest after a bunch of cutscenes like that. I want to start with the hooded figure and Joshua. So obviously when these guys were dealing with the Mother Crystal, it looked as though Joshua was there. And there was a, hooded figure and stuff. And I was going to say something like, how the hell is this? How the hell is Joshua kind of teleporting around when no one's seeing him? And so it's getting a bit confusing on that front. And then they said a meanwhile. And so there's no way, again, he can be in two places at once. And so it goes all the way back to what I was thinking at the very start of the game when we first kind of speculated that Joshua was still alive. I was like, if that's the case, how is this hooded figure the same age in Clive's flashback at the Phoenix Gate incident? And so, again, they keep kind of teasing that there's something else going on there. That, I mean, the hooded figure and Joshua might not be the same person still. Like, because Clive was already leaving the area when they showed the hooded figure standing where the Mother Crystal used to be. And then it says meanwhile and it shows Joshua, so it's like, how does that make sense? So, yeah, they're keeping you guessing with that stuff. And then, of course, now we've got the Annabelle situation. It seems like she's obviously plotting the demise of the Emperor and probably Dion in order to instill her son as, like, the ultimate ruler of Sambrec and basically the world. Like, there is nothing that woman would do, no length that she wouldn't go to for power, basically. And because, well, the way things are, she can't claim it for herself. The only way to have it is to have her son take control of it. She's an absolute piece of work. She's like probably one of the most straight up villainous people in the entire story, and we've seen some pretty bad ones in this game. So yeah, okay. I think there's only one, because I have been keeping up with the side quests. There's only one at the moment. There might be some new hunts. Yeah, so we'll have a look at all of that stuff and catch up with the story as well. But yeah, thankfully no PS5 overheating as well, which is a good sign. I've played for another, how many hours? Maybe 2 hours, 2.5 hours since I started. And last time I only got about an hour and 20 minutes in, I think, before it overheated. So I think we're back to normal. So all is good.
Is it true what I'm hearing, Sid? You cracked another crystal?
Yes, and I didn't even need to change into Ifrit, which is still playing on my mind. It's kind of funny. We waited 5 years. I still think the 5-year time skip was too long. Like a year or two I could have brought, but 5 years, I think that's a bit much. It's a minor thing, but it has played on my mind a little bit, and the people I've spoken to so far at least agree that 5 years is a bit long.
Oh, bother. Whatever am I to do now, Clive?
About what?
I've 2 dresses that need stitching, but I haven't got a scrap of linen. Those girls' rags are so threadbare. It's a wonder they don't fall to pieces. And we most certainly cannot have that. A certain amount of decorum must be maintained, even here at the hideaway. You wouldn't want the poor things going without decent clothes now, would you?
Let's help out.
Of course not. What can I do to help?
Oh, aren't you a dear? You see, I've paid for 2 bolts of cloth from the drapers in Northreach, blue and red. But they don't deliver, not to places that aren't on the map anyway, so I'll need someone to take this receipt and collect them.
And you'd have this someone be me.
I would. And don't let them fob you off with anything less than what I paid for. 1 bolt of blue and 1 of red. I expect them both.
Yeah, especially because I want those plus points as well.
They said they'd give us new clothes. But we've no coin.
Because the crafting system ain't really doing that much for me. Now and then we get to craft something nice, but as a general thing, it's another one of the weak aspects of the game, I think.
Oh, I wasn't expecting you back so soon. Your benefactors are a generous lot.
And I think, once again, that's another one of those things that, at least the small group of people I chat to about the game as I'm playing, we tend to be in agreement. So, but we're closing in on these, so that's good.
Best of luck out there, Sid.
Okay, let's see some new hunts as well. Okay, 2 more. We've got a B rank, 2 more B ranks. That's good. That's fine. West of Rhiannon's Ride. This area. Okay, Minotaurs tend to be not too bad, but we'll have to see. So the swamp surrounding Martha's Rest. Fine. I will actually, at this stage, I am going to take photos of these because I'm going to be here for a while. There's other things I'm going to check. And by the time I leave, I'll probably end up forgetting. Amid the fallen ruins near Martha's Rest. Okay, they're both pretty close to each other. That's good. Let's see if she has anything specific to say.
And how may I assist you today?
Yeah. In that sense, I feel like it would have been nice if she kind of gave us like a verbal update in that sense, instead of having to go into these every time.
How may I help you today?
Just 3 more mothers to fell.
Here you are.
Drake's breath crumbles, and with it, the crystalline orthodoxy. On the far side of Storm, the fist of the Republic still lays siege to the Dominion, little knowing that their hero Hugo Kupka has learned of his nemesis' true identity, and come to a secret agreement with the Empress Annabella.
Very good.
Okay, and there's a plus quest as well that we will go for. Kind of showed up and then disappeared. I saw it. Oh, it's all the way here. Of course it is. So it's going to be a little bit of time in the hideaway before we go on the next set of things.
I want to sail all the way to the shore.
This is that kind of stage of the game where things really open up, and the pacing, you kind of have to try and dictate your pacing a bit. The absolute best games do a wonderful job of kind of keeping you moving in the right direction, and just like you don't notice it too much. But this is where a lot of games can start to fall off in terms of like where to go, what to do. Do you press forward with the story? Let's say you do a lot of side quests, but you don't enjoy them that much. You kind of feel a bit detached from the story, and you're not into the side quests, so the entire thing starts to fall flatter. It's tough. We're going to find out over the next like 10 to 20 hours what this game is really made of, because these are some of the hardest bits to do well, I think, for these kind of games.
And what can I do for you? Going purse weighing you down?
Okay, finally we have a platinum sword. We have something new. So it's going to be the same thing again. I can either buy it here for 2,000, or most likely Blackthorn can make it for me. So, yeah. So this is better as well, but I don't get the 14 plus health. Yeah, this isn't better.
You'll not find a better price than that. Come again.
Yeah, especially with the hunts that we've got to do.
Either way.
Okay.
Back, are ya? What's saying fortune, do you?
Ah, there's a new thing. It said Drake's breath, by the way. I noticed that. Okay. So, let's see. So in this sense, because it's so cheap, it's only like... It's only 2,000 gil. I think it's much better to just buy it and then reinforce instead of craft.
Is it business or pleasure? Going purse weighing you down?
Because we can keep more...
It'd better all be here.
like liquid flame and stuff. This one I'll have to see how good it is when I upgrade it.
You'll not find a better price than that.
Clive?
First of all, let's do this.
Must have been hot.
Fighting inside the belly of that crag might be work for you as a smith when you hang up the old sword. But I'm betting that won't be for a while.
I know how hard it can be.
Trying to fill another man's boots. But I reckon you've grown into Sid's nicely. He'd be proud. It's nice of him to say.
What do you want?
And then he's like, what do you want? What do you want? So... we still have to go +1 and then +2. Yeah, we can do it.
My best work, but it'll do.
And then...
You can thank me later.
Yeah, I mean, we've got just about enough. I think it ends up being
My best
better
work, but it'll do.
than the previous one.
You can thank me later.
Okay.
That it?
Yep,
Fine.
that is it. Let's try and get down to this quest. It's nice that they kind of make it pretty obvious if you do want to speed things up a bit which quest you should be going for. So it's about Martel again, the Martel apples. I think it's oh no, it's not the same person. It's the other side of that bit. Nigel. Let's quickly have a look at this. Did I see this before? Foundations of Valisthean botany. After excising from the trunk, drive... Yeah, this is the stuff that... Okay. I don't care. Give me, like, legit lore rather than, like, wine-making instructions or botany information. I don't know.
Sid, I know that when we came to the hideaway, we chose to let go of our past in order that we might focus on our future.
We did?
Nonetheless, I was wondering if... Well, I know you are from Rosaria, and I'm in need of someone with intimate knowledge of those lands. Apparently, the duchy is home to all manner of curative herbs found nowhere else in the realm. Among them is a flower called a Morganbeard that increases the potency of lesser medicines.
I can't say that I've had much practice healing. My youth was spent in the Bailey.
A shame. You see, the hideaway relies heavily upon medicines procured from afar. And when those shipments are late, well, it's our sick who suffer. If we could find this flower and learn to grow it here, we might save many lives. However, as you are well aware, Imperial occupation has rendered the roads unsafe for those like me, untrained in the military arts. Now, I'm not asking the busiest man in the hideaway to drop everything and make the journey for me, but if you happen to be in the duchy on other business...
I kind of like that, even the fact that he acknowledged that he's so ridiculously busy, why would he even help with this quest? Realistically, he's got so much bigger shit to do, but obviously in the context of these games, you kind of have to, otherwise you'd never have side quests, basically.
Tell me of these Morganbeards, then.
But of course. If my old tomes are to be believed, the flowers are bright yellow and as large as goblins' eyes. Oh, and they grow in the marshes of Sorrowise. If I am to propagate them here in the backyard, I will require several samples, preferably of blooms which have already gone to seed. And before I forget, I do seem to recall learning in the course of my research that their odor has the tendency to attract unsavory creatures. Nothing you cannot handle, though, I'm sure.
Okay. Going to be facing Mandragora, clearly. Yeah, that seems like something worth fighting for. I mean, it's a plus quest anyway, and feels like you might get something legit for it, obviously, due to the plus nature, but also something that increases the potency of lesser medicines. That sounds good. So it's also in Rosaria, which is where I believe both of the hunts are.
Let us know if you find any rotten.
So I think we are in the right place. Now, I think I'll speak with Tomes next time, so that I don't spend like half an hour in a hideaway. Let's get out of here. try to go to Rosaria, do some of these quests, and then when we're back, we'll speak again. Okay, so we have 2 different ones. We've got this guy. This one's probably pretty quick and easy, so let's just quickly sort this one out, and then we have the more substantial work in the Rosaria region.
Keep them pilgers nice and chilled.
Look at this place.
Let's hope the Draper has Hortense's cloth.
Might I interest you in some swansdown? Perhaps some seersucker or herringbone?
Just some linen. 2 bolts. Already paid for in full.
Apologies, my lord, but your items aren't here.
What?
They were due to arrive on a caravan from Boklad, but there's been little traffic on the road these past few days. My mother thinks it might be bandits, but she always thinks it's bandits.
It usually is.
Yep.
So I assume the caravan will be coming from the south.
Yes, hopefully carrying all manner of spice and sundries. Wait, you aren't thinking of...
Going to find it. That's exactly what I'm thinking.
Oh, well then, be safe.
It's always the bloody bandits. Let's go. Chocobo time.
Faster!
Ah, Torgal. I feel like it's been a while since I've seen him. Let's go kick some bandit butt, my boy. Yeah, I think my right analog stick is really dying here. I'm having to fight it more. It's like worse every session. If I kind of pull it up slightly, it's not so bad, but when I have to press it down, then it stops working properly. Like now, so I have to pull it back up. Looks like it's been stolen at this stage.
That damn bird's a menace! Who's gonna buy my wares now? State your animals left them in.
But they're hardly damaged at all.
Is there something wrong?
If you're a bandit come to steal my stuff, you're gonna be sorely disappointed. And all thanks to this fool.
But it was you who stepped into my path.
Only after that featherbrain trampled me. I demand recompense, be it in coin or the items you carry. Refuse, and I shall report you to the garrison and see you hanged.
These goods are expected in Northreach. I mean, they're not mine to give away.
You wouldn't happen to be on your way from Boklad, would you?
I am, but did someone from the market send you? Please, you have to help me. I can pay whatever you ask.
So the fool has protection. And coin, too. Sorry, friend, but we'll be the ones taking it. Oi! Killer! It's time to collect!
I told you not to call me that. And we'd have already collected if you hadn't insisted we'd put on this little act. Bandits!
As I told one of your customers, it usually is. Let's get this over with.
Okay, big boy.
I'll deal with the bird lover. You take the handsome one, killer.
Stop calling me that.
Yeah, I was busy looking at the toggle menu, by the way. That's why I got completely abused there. Why didn't I pull him down?
This way.
let's sort this out. Right. Let's see how you do with a bit of this. Let's just dodge this first. Nope. I think I'm trying to leave it to too late. The game is more generous with dodging than you think. That's still something I'm fundamentally not as good at. So let's practice here. I mean, this guy's not going to be able to take me out. Yeah. You just, like, sometimes I try to be too, like, you don't have to be that precise. I really don't think it's that kind of game. Yeah, the window for it is small. Let's finish him off in style. Yeah, it's the first battle I've done in a little while, so need to warm up a bit. But there's no way one big guy with a swinging club ain't gonna do it.
All right. You made your point. Killing my ass.
Did he hurt you? No, thankfully. He seemed intent on letting the bandit do his dirty work for him, and he would have succeeded had the great lender not sent you. My shipment is safe, and my livelihood with it. You must allow me to reward you.
We can speak of that once you're safe in Northreach. I'll accompany you there.